What's up, y'all? UFC on Fuel 1. Predictions. Let's start with Brookings and Roja. Alright, Brookings looked like shit his first fight. I thought he was way too talented. Is way too talented to perform the way he performed, especially after winning the UFC and then coming and just getting his ass with the first fight. Brookings is a ground guy. His last fight he tried to trade, standing up. He couldn't get it down to the ground. And then he got his ass kicked. I wouldn't say Brookings is too much of a jiu-jitsu guy. He's only a purple belt. But he uses good MMA wrestling and he controls positions well. And that's his bread and butter. That's what he should stick to. And he didn't in his last fight, and he got beat the fuck down. Now, the UFC definitely isn't giving him any cupcakes like they do other reality series fighters after they come off the show. A la Bisping, cupcakes his whole career. I don't give a fuck. Chell did whoop his ass, by the way. But no, they're giving Brookings Roja. Roja's no joke. He's a black belt in BJJ. 7 of his wins are from submission. And he's no joke. He's pretty good. If it goes on the ground, is Rojas Jiu-Jitsu going to be better than Brookings MMA wrestling? Brookings purple belt in Jiu-Jitsu? Or is it going to be better? No, I don't think so. I don't think Brookings is... Well, you know what? Well, obviously they're going to start trading because every fight stands on their feet. But I think Brookings looks to exchange a little bit standing up, and then when it goes onto the ground, I look for Brookings to control him on the ground. And play that game. It's probably going to be a boring fight. I see Brookings winning 3-round decision. I don't think he's got the pop to knock him out or anything like that. I think Brookings is going to come out. I think he's going to look impressive on the ground as far as controlling the fight on the ground and winning that way. So Brookings decision. On to the next one. By the way, I'm only doing fights that I give a fuck about. A lot of fights on the card, obviously. I'm not going to comment on every single one. Only the ones that I want to give comments on. And that's most of it, just good ones. So, Dillashaw against Watson. I like Dillashaw coming out of Uriah's camp. He's Uriah's boy. Team Alpha Male out there, they got a good little thing going on. You know, they're not talked about as much as some of the big other ones, but other camps that is. But I like them. Team Alpha Male. They produce some serious training camps out there that these guys go through. So I mean, even if Dillashaw isn't as talented as some of the other guys in Team Alpha Male, he's still training with them, and personally, I do think he's impressive. I think he should have won the Ultimate Fighter, John, but he didn't. I think he's going to come out against Watson. He's gonna win impressively. Watson is going to try to use his reach and his he's going to try to keep the distance. He's not going to try to mix it up on the ground or in close exchanges with Dillashaw. He's going to try to outbox him and play the reach game with him, a la Johnny Jones. Difference is Johnny Jones, he can get away with it because he's just that good, where Watson isn't. Dillashaw will take Watson down, and he's going to brutalize him on the ground. I don't see Dillashaw going for a submission, I don't see him winning by submission. But I do see him winning in the second round TKO stoppage. Dillashaw's going to come out. He's going to look good. Dillashaw's going to make some noise. Maybe not right now or next month or this year, but he will make noise. Watch out for him. Big win. Simpson against Marks. This. A lot of people like Simpson. I like Simpson. Maybe not in this fight, but I like Simpson to have a pretty good career. He's only got 2 real losses in the UFC, and that's to Mark Munoz and the Crippler, Lieben. He's won 3 in a row. Problem is I like Marks. Marks is he's an up and comer. He's a guy that's making serious noise. He's 12-1. Simpson, as far as the middleweight division goes, he's a tough guy. Not a lot of people talk about him, but he's a real tough guy. But Marks is a beast. The UFC definitely likes Marks, and the way they look at it is if Marks beats Aaron Simpson, beats him and looks well, all of a sudden you have another guy at middleweight to talk about, and that's Marks. Marks reminds me of Vitor Belfort. Explosive. He's very explosive. I'm going to pick Marks. Second round, TKO. Simpson is going to take a beating for 2 rounds. He might give some back, but he'll take a lot of shots just because he's a very tough guy, and to beat Aaron like that, you're going to have to brutalize him. So look for a 2-round beating, possibly 3rd round, end of the 2nd, beginning of the 3rd. TKO for Marks. So if you're going to bet on Simpson, don't do it. Marks is taking that one down. Stefan Struve, and my guy Herman. I like Ed Herman. Ed Herman's no joke. Ed Herman, he's very underrated. Very underrated. Look at his record, though. You'll be very surprised to see some of the wins on his record. Ed Herman making some noise his last fight. He's been out for a little bit. I haven't seen him in a while. Stefan Struve. I love saying that. Stefan Struve. Stefan Struve, when he fills into his massive skyscraper frame, is going to be a beast. Problem is, he has boy strength right now. He hasn't matured. He hasn't turned into the man that he's going to be later on. He hasn't gotten his, as I like to say, man strength yet. He's working on that boy strength. He's a big, strong guy. Problem is, at Herman, he does have that man strength. And man strength and boy strength is different. And I think Ed Herman is going to bully Stefan Struve around in that ring. I think he is. Stefan Struve, he also can take a beating. That boy can take a beating. He's too young to have that switch in his head out yet. Every time you get knocked out, not too much brain trauma bouncing around up in his head yet. So he's going to take a whooping. It's not going to be like Ed Herman catches him, he goes down. No. You're going to see his lip all puffed up like it was in that not that last fight, but in that one fight that he's famous for, the highlights, coming back and knocking him out after getting brutalized. I'm picking Ed Herman. I'm picking a lot of underdogs, by the way, this week. I'm picking Ed Herman in round 3 by submission. Round 3, he's definitely knocking Stefan Struve out. So the only way Ed Herman wins, well, he's got 2 ways. I'm saying either a decision, Ed Herman, or he gets him in that 3rd round when Stefan Struve is just brutalized and it just gives up and he takes it back as submission. So Ed Herman, either by submission, middle, late round 3, or a decision, Ed Herman. Either way, Ed Herman. But Skyscraper is going to be a force in about 3-4 years. He's got to take some growing pains right now. He's got to go through his growing pains, kind of like Alistar did when he was younger. When he was younger, he had a glass jaw. He sucked. Now Alistar has grown into his man body, and he is tearing shit up. By the way, Alistar Overeem, next heavyweight champion of the world. You heard it here. We're not talking about that yet. Next, main event. Against Pepe, little Pepe. Ellenberger against Sanchez. Diego. I never really liked Diego fighting at welter. Or actually, they fight middle. I don't know. I don't know. Either way, Diego doesn't have a chance in hell to beat Ellenberger. Condit's the only guy to ever really beat Ellenberger in the UFC. Ellenberger's coming over off of a big first-round knockout of the very overrated Jake Shields. By the way, get your ass out of the UFC, Shields. You have no business in it. Go back to Strikeforce. You can't hang with the big boys. I don't care what camp you come out of. You're the worst fighter in Caesar's camp. You're riding Nick's, Nate's, and that other lightweight they got over there. You're riding their coattails. You're the weakest link on the totem pole. Get off and go home. Strikeforce needs another fighter.
So what are we doing with you here today?
I'm assuming this is going to be a 5-round fight, since all main events are 5 rounds, unless this card is too shitty and they don't want to give it a 5-round fight and they go to a 3-round fight. Either way, I don't think it's going to be a quick knockout like it was the Jake Shields, because Diego is wrong word. Diego, he could take a beating. I like to say that word. I've been saying that. I mean, that's, I think, why UFC keeps putting on these matchups, because these guys who are going to lose can take a beating, and that's what the UFC wants the fans to watch. It's what I want to watch. Diego can take a beating. He's in a lot of good scraps. I don't think he's skilled enough. He definitely doesn't have the skills, I think, to beat Ellenberger. Ellenberger is incredible. He's not George St. Pierre or top. He's a top guy, but he's not beating George St. Pierre anytime soon. He might be the second or third best welterweight out there. Ellenberger's going to knock him out. If it's a 5-round fight, he's going to knock him out probably in the 3rd or 4th round. If it's not if it goes past the 2nd round, that is. You might just see a 30-second knockout of Diego. I don't see it, because Diego's a tough guy. Now, there's always a chance Diego can win. You know, Diego catches him early with an elbow and cuts Ellenberger and sees blood and starts going crazy. You never know. It's a fight, right? You never know. I don't see it. Ellenberger's too tough. This is what I think is going to happen. I think Ellenberger is going to beat the shit out of Diego. Like I said, TKO stoppage it either in the 3rd or the 4th round. And then that's going to set up the rematch against Carlos Condit. Since Carlos is probably going to fight one more time before fighting Jorge over in November. Around there. Which, if I'm Condit, I don't do. I sit on the shelf and I wait for George St. Pierre for that payday. It's, I mean, money-wise, it's worth it just to sit, you know, because if you fight and defend your interim welterweight title, which, by the way, is a bullshit title, but if he does fight, he's going to go from a paycheck of about $150,000 to $200,000. With that one, where he could like just sit on the shelf and maybe double that against Jorge when he fights him in November, you know, December, or if it's fast, maybe even October. But either way, if Ellenberger beats Sanchez, that fight is going to happen. He will fight Condit before Condit fights St. Pierre. And the winner of that will probably fight St. Pierre in November. So, you know, which kind of sucks for Carlos, like I said. But that's probably that's the path that Ellenberger is headed. You know, he's going to knock out Sanchez. Little Pepe. He's going to knock out Little Pepe. And fight Carlos probably like 3 or 4 months after that. And then a fight down the end of the year against George. So anyway, yeah, check back every event, and I'll give you my predictions for every fight card. Just because I've been going on the interweb and checking out some of these other guys' predictions, and they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. It's horrible. Yeah, after the event, I'll do a follow up and give you my thoughts on the card. Now, if you're gonna trash my picks, at least wait to after the event to see if I was wrong. Otherwise, trash ahead and fuck y'all. All right, subscribe, bitches.